Could Donald Trump be forced to deal with even a limited gag order in any of these cases? And what would that mean for his campaign if a judge said, yeah, that sounds good to me?
Well, it would be an egregious and offensive assault on his free speech rights. You know, the judge is probably going to say, it's a very difficult situation for a judge to be in. The judge is probably going to say, okay, I'm going to balance your free speech rights against the government's right to conduct the prosecution unimpeded. As soon as she says balance, you know she's using the wrong standard, because the word is bias. Every bias must be in favor of free speech. Every presumption must be in favor of the right for Donald Trump to say whatever he wants, not so much because he's running for president, but because he's a human being whose natural right to speak is expressly protected by the First Amendment. So the default position is speech. The default position is not silence. For her to prevent him from complaining about the case, from talking about the case, from expressing an opinion about the prosecutors and even about her, would be an exquisite violation of his free speech rights that I would expect would be overruled by an appellate court.
Judge, this is Rick Grenell. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Here's my question. Are you predicting that the judge is actually going to have some sort of limitation on President Trump?
I'm sorry to say, Ambassador Grenell, I am predicting that because I know her. I know her temperament, and I know the pressure she's under from the prosecutors. She's not going to silence him totally, in my opinion. She's going to dial him back a little bit here, a little bit more, a little bit more. And in my opinion, that's going to make things far worse for the fair trial to which he's entitled and to which the government is entitled, and far worse for our fundamental values of free speech.
So what if because now we get loosey-goosey with what a violation of that gag order would be. If Trump does violate the gag order, what does that mean? Do they put him behind bars?
She has the authority to do that. She is the only judge of the four before whom he will appear who has ventured into this area. Why? Because the government knows that of those four, she is the most likely to do that, and that's why they're pressing this issue. And Trump, to his credit, continues to press back. I think a confrontation is coming. It's hard for me to predict exactly what she's going to do, but she's going to hold a hearing. He'll be in the courtroom. She'll give him some sort of a stern warning, and we'll see where it goes from there.
There better be swift
It's almost surreal when you think about it.
Yeah, and Judge, you look at that Meet the Press interview that Donald Trump gave on Sunday with Kristen Welker, and he's giving away the game. You know, I don't think his defense attorneys are going to be happy about that. I don't know how you feel about that. Just about 15 seconds, because we're tight.
I think he undermined his defensive advice of counsel defense by saying, I didn't like them, I didn't respect them, I didn't believe them. Okay, if you didn't believe them, if you didn't respect them, then you didn't take their advice, so you don't have the advice of counsel defense. That's the essence of his defense in all four cases. This is not bank robbery where everybody knows what's right and what's wrong. These are technical allegations against him. And I relied on what my lawyers told me is a defense, except when you publicly denounce your own lawyers.